Hello, my name's Ruth, and I'm happy to welcome you back to my Books and Budgets channel, although I have realized that mostly it's just budgets. I have been reading a little bit more, and I am planning some book content. You know, I have a lot of plans. We'll just get into the budget, okay? Today we're doing the first paycheck in July, and I am going to talk a little bit about how I get paid as a teacher in the summer. So let me move this just a bit out of the way. And we're going to start with the monthly calendar. Okay, for July, I've already filled in most of this, but I do want to use the highlighters and kind of make it visual what I'm trying to do. So my payday was June 30th. That's today, so. Oh, that's why I'm saying was. I always count it as the last day of the month, but since this was a Sunday, since today is a Sunday, they actually deposited it on Friday. So out of that comes my union dues, a transfer to shopping, my mortgage, lawn care. I don't know if he'll come at this point or not, but I try to have it. He usually comes on the weekend, so I try to have the cash ready for him by Friday. This time I have my Amazon Prime membership, my annual membership will be coming out. I believe they sent me a notice and said it would be on the 6th. And sometime around there, I renew my museum membership for $80 as well. My AT&T will come out of this paycheck, and my gym membership, what I pay for my heating and air contract, my Apple storage, and I believe that is all that comes out of this one. Let's see. Then I have, technically, and I put it in parentheses here, I keep what I call my normal payday. If you didn't notice, this says times 4. My district writes a contract for teachers to be on the job and on contract for 190 days out of the year. It then takes that salary for 190 days and divides it into 24 equal payments. They pay us on the last of the month and the 15th of the month. They start paying us because we start in and do professional development at the beginning of August. It's the first half of August. And like a lot of employers, you work, say, the 1st through the 15th, and that time gets basically turned in or whatever, and you get paid for it the next pay period, which is the end of the month. So we work at the beginning of July. I know this is July. We work at the beginning of August. We don't get paid on the 15th. We get paid for the first paycheck of our academic year will be August 31st. Okay? So that means that everything before August 31st is coming from last year's paycheck. They pay us throughout the year, and then they get to the end of the year and they close their books by June 30th. That's their fiscal year. And it comes before we've gotten all of our summer paychecks. So what they do is when they pay us our last paycheck for the month of June, they pay us also 3 more, all of them at once. Well, we used to get them on the exact same day. Now we get them staggered like by one day. But so this paycheck is actually I have one for June 30th. I have one for July 15th. I have one for July 31st. And I have one for August 15th. I get them all at once. On years when I am better disciplined, let's put it that way, I paused simply to try to come up with the least derogatory term for myself. When I am less disciplined, I leave it in my checking account and I don't pay much attention. And August can be a little lean, or in the past I've had to pull things out of my savings account to make it through August. And what I find that hilarious in some ways, because the first thing they do, it seems like at the beginning of a school year, is they start hitting us up, the cheerleading and the dance team and the football teams and the volleyball team. We're selling shirts. Would you like to buy shirts? And I'm like, you do realize this is not when I have any money. On years when I am better disciplined, I will take 3 of these on June 30th and put them into my savings account and earn a tiny bit of interest on them. This year I'm thinking about doing that with a high yield savings account. But then I transfer them to my checking account on the day that I get paid. So, or that would normally get paid. And when I do that, the end of summer feels a lot less lean. And so I really want to try and do that. But that's why I have this in parentheses, because this is a payday only if I make it one. Otherwise, the money's already in there and I can just continue to spend it. But out of this should come my union dues. I think I pay these in the summer. I'm still not sure yet. No, because I got those on Friday and I looked, and they're the same amount that they have been. So I pay union dues all. This is the first year that we've had to pay them from an electronic fund transfer, an EFT, out of our bank. They used to withhold them from our check, and our state made that illegal. They had a dispute. They didn't like the way the union was vocal about some legislation. So it's lovely to feel like, I don't know, like you're under siege in your own state. But that's the way it is. I don't want to get into politics too much. We could get into that a lot. And the state of education, we could go on. But let's just concentrate on the budget. I will pay my YouTube out of that. Lawn should come up again, although it may not come up this month or this week. If he makes it on the week of the weekend of the 5th or 6th, it might. On the other hand, the middle of July is when the water or the rain stops and the lawn grows a lot slower. So I think he drives by, or he counts on people to call him or text him when it's needed, and he'll wait 3 weeks if it's fine. And I love that. I mean, he is the most economical and hardworking lawn man I've had. So I really appreciate him. Netflix. Oh, I put in that I will be this is a 2-day teacher PD, but it's supposed to concentrate on teacher wellness and on not allowing yourself to get caught into some of the stress that teaching obviously brings with it. And since that's been a real issue for me in the last couple of years, I signed up. Then I put, just towards the end of the month, transferring money to my son, paying my utilities, because all 4 of these utilities, the electric, the gas, the water, and my T-Mobile bill, are actually due in the next month, in the first half of August. So paying them at the end of July is still paying them early. I pay my life insurance usually on the 28th. And then I transfer that last bit of money to savings, and whatever I then designate at the end of the month that I'm going to be putting into savings. Oh, and I have a hair appointment. Comes right at the end. I'll get cash out for that. And then, once again, if I make it so, I have a payday on the last day of July that will see me through to the middle of August. I would really like to, some of those high yield savings accounts are getting such good interest rates, and I know they compound interest daily. You don't get 5% daily. You get 5% for the year, but that equals out to a certain number of cents per day. So, transferring 3 paychecks along with part of my emergency fund into a high yield savings account, and then 2 weeks later pulling some of it out, that's 10 days to 2 weeks of at least the first paycheck. It's 4 weeks of the second paycheck and 6 weeks of the third. So I need to look into doing that this week. Okay, so let's look at the planned budget for the month. And I am going to stop and zoom you in so you can see this a little bit better. I have pre-filled it with my expected bills and categories. So hang on just 1 minute. All right, I'm back. And while I'm here, may I say, welcome to the Janky Nail channel of YouTube. Everybody has such beautiful nails, and I am not one to go and have my nails done. It's been 2 years, I think, since I even had a pedicure, and that used to be all I did. But somehow, even as low maintenance women, we accumulate little things, and I have a few bottles of nail polish in my home. And so I painted my nails several days ago with the plan of filming my end of June video, and I did get that done, but now we're starting to need to get this off and start a new one. So, but I put in my grocery order just the other day a bottle of a new color. So I'm kind of excited about that. Let's get this down and in frame. Here we are. We are budgeting that we will be carrying over $50 as usual. Our school paycheck, we will budget for $1,600. And for the sinking funds, I have my Amazon, my annual Amazon, I'm expecting to be about $155, and I may be budgeting up a little bit, rounding up. And my museum membership, I'm expecting to be $80, so I'm going to transfer $235 from my sinking fund, which I think has like $260 in it right now. So that'll leave me a little surplus in there. But I'm going to be budgeting $1,885 this time, which is more than usual. For my bills, I transfer on the 30th. I have an automatic transfer on the day that I get paid that goes to a separate checking account that I use for shopping or for personal items. I usually just accumulate for a while, and then I'll nickel and dime it, or I'll go and shop for clothes and spend a big chunk of it. But 25 goes in there, and at some point I'll look at maybe upping that, because as I have better practices with my budget, as I am reaching some of my savings goals, I'm allowed to spend more money personally, and so I may up that. My union dues also come out on the day I get paid. I budget $35. As I said, I round up. Oh, and I'm putting cents, and I don't usually do that, so I'll quit doing that. I round up when I budget, which when I say budget, I mean plan for, and then I put the actual amount in here, which will be hopefully less, and that will always end up with a little bit of surplus. My mortgage comes out on the 3rd, and it is going up. I've been budgeting $825. I believe that it will go up in July and actually charge closer to $845. The fact that it only went up $20 on my insurance going up, I know that I'm lucky. I've heard on YouTube, several of you have shared that your escrow account went up and you either have to come up with a lump sum in the thousands, or this goes up by $500, $600 a month. I know I'm very lucky. So, my internet, I pay on the 8th and it went up by $5. So instead of budgeting $135, now I'm budgeting $140. It just keeps edging up. And my gym membership does not. I feel lucky about that. My air conditioning contract, my heating and air contract, I budget $20. I scheduled them to come and do my air conditioning service, and they contacted me the morning that they were supposed to come that afternoon and let me know that they had some sort of issue with their scheduling, and they were not going to be able to make it, and then needed to reschedule me. And I was fine with that. I mean, I'm flexible. I didn't take off work or anything. I had scheduled it when I was going to be home that afternoon. I was fine with that. Then I go to reschedule it, and they said, we're scheduling for August now. And as a matter of fact, I didn't know when school started, so I told them I had to call them back, and I haven't yet. But it's like when you schedule something in June and they cancel, it feels like you ought to still be able to get it done in June or like early July at least. By mid-August, how much more is my air conditioning going to need servicing? I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way. But I don't want to take that out on them. I'm sure that they're doing the best that they can. So I am budgeting for lawn care every 2 weeks, so 1 per pay period. We'll see if it happens or not. And then, like I said, this is going to happen on the 6th, so I'm going to budget $155 here. And if that's the wonderful thing about sinking funds, this is a plan. Okay, that's great. If it were to come out and be $175, then on my actual up here, I would adjust this up to $255 or whatever. I have options because I have planned for options. That I love about I will pay this sometime in here. That's what I love about budgeting is I have options. My sinking funds give me choices. They make me feel, I don't know, more positive about life, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Everything feels more positive when you have choices. So all of this added together with this additional is higher than usual, $1,385. When subtracted from the $1,885, that leaves me only $500. So this will be, short and sweet. There's not a lot to spend. I move this up to keep this. I spend $200 I budget $200 a month on groceries and $75 on eating out. I'm going to budget $30 for fuel. I may be going somewhere the first weekend in July. I'm not sure. I've noticed that the prices are going up, probably because a holiday is coming. Entertainment gets its usual $20. Miscellaneous gets its usual $25. This means I have budgeted for variable spending $350. Subtracted from my $500, that leaves $150. Now, if you'll notice over here, I am still maintaining in the first half of the month that I want to keep that Discover Snowball. That is in honor of the fact that I used to have a Discover bill. I paid $75. I set it up on auto pay. I paid $75 a month until it was paid off. At the very beginning, that was pretty close to my minimum payment, but then it became quite a bit more than my minimum payment, and it paid a little bit faster. But in the idea that we have a debt snowball, this was my last debt, I want to maintain this money going towards savings. I want to maintain that space in my budget. And at some point, when I have debt again, when I have some sort of loan to cover housework, then this $75 will probably go towards that. But I'm maintaining that space in my budget and putting it towards the things that I prioritize. Can't quite let go of emergency. So I flipped these. I was putting $50 in emergency and $25 in home maintenance right for the last couple of months. Now I flipped them and it goes $50 to home maintenance, $25 to emergency. But that's $75 out of this $150 that I have to consider. So I'm moving $150 up here. The checking buffer is $50. Well, by the time you add that $50 to the $75 that I just put down there, that leaves $25 for home maintenance. That's all. Okay. But, that's $25 plus the $50, so it will get, it's getting priorities. I'm not putting any of my other sinking funds in here because at the beginning of the month, this is not the time when I have the most wiggle room. Now, I have underestimated my income here. this should be at least $50 more. So maybe I'll put that $50 somewhere in here. I don't know. We'll see when we get to the end of this half of the month. So this added together is 75, which leaves 75. I have a line through extra debt payments since I do not have any. Put the 75 down here. 50 and 25 equals 75. And when you subtract that from the remainder, we have a zero-based budget. Let's see, I've got my other papers here, but I think I was just using them for a cushion. Let me zoom back out and we'll wrap this up. All right, hopefully that didn't take too long. I know I went off on a couple of tangents. That's going to be me in almost any situation. If I can talk, I'm going to. I'm sorry. But thank you for joining me. Thank you for staying this long. I hope you were thinking about your 1st of July expenses and budget along with me. That's why I think some people put these as budget with me. And I do that. I will. Sometimes I need to concentrate enough on this that I can't put it on YouTube and do it in the background. So I'll pause it. But like this is all in ink. I do my original draft in pencil, just so you can see. I do it in pencil. I do that with it on pause, and then I copy over the ink while I'm watching a budget with me from someone else. It just kind of keeps me motivated. It keeps me on track. Now, whether I get things edited and uploaded in a timely manner might be another thing entirely. But I have some thoughts about some upcoming things. I finally finished my summer camp that I was doing for my reading summer camp. And so July is going to be about the only month that I have completely free. I have 1 month off, but I'm hoping to devote it to YouTube. I am aware that making budget with me's and budget recaps are kind of time driven, and they're not what we would call an evergreen or watch it anytime kind of video. And I would like to start thinking of some topics that could be that. Tutorials on how to do certain things. I may even do something on looking for and signing up for a high yield savings account. I mean, that's one of my goals for my budget. Why not take you along for the ride? If you're interested in content like that, please let me know. Drop me a note down in the comments. If this has been helpful to you, if you've budgeted along with me, please hit the like button, because those little things, that little interaction, those little bits of feedback really are encouraging to anybody that you're watching. I would encourage you to do that. All right, well, I'm going to get out of here before this gets much longer with just babbling. And hopefully I'll see you soon with something a little bit new. Maybe even some reading content. It could happen. Maybe. All right, see you later. Bye.